In this demonstration, we are going to establish an upsert process, update existing rows and insert new ones for the table sales invoice lines. And this table resides in the wide world importers database. And if we have a peek at its schema, we can see that it has a primary key defined on invoice line ID. And there is also a column which can help us ascertain when this row, when this uniquely identified invoice line ID was last updated, and that is last edited when column. So we have all the required metadata which we need to populate into our bulk load table. So let's open the table, and we are going to fetch our data from our server source. And just to save time, I've actually prepared the object names, which contains database, schema, and table. I will copy this value into the column source database schema table. The next value which we need to populate is the target server, target, and the target object. Additionally, we also need to specify the key column. If you don't specify a key column for a table, that means that you have to process all the data in your source table on each execution. Okay, so this column will help to identify new rows. The next information that we need to populate in order to establish our incremental upsert process is a date column. And last edited when is going to help us identify rows that have been recently modified. So I will copy this column name into our bulk load table under date column and save the changes. So we are now ready to execute process ID 20. So I will replace the value within the script, mark the line and hit F5. This will transfer our invoice lines from our source database into our target database. And you can see that 228,265 rows have been processed in this execution. So the next thing I want to do is to just qualify that our source and target table have equal number of rows. And as you can see, both of them are the same. The next thing we are going to do is to just re-execute process ID 20 once again. And this time only 284 rows have been processed. And CLRBulkload has dynamically fetched the last edited when value, which should be used for an incremental load. So what we are going to do next is to increase the number of overlapping days. The default value for this is 1, but we can increase this to 5. Increasing the number of overlap days to 5 will increase the number of rows which are going to be processed, because we are fetching all the rows that have been modified within a time span of 5 days from the maximum date in our target table. Okay, so after changing the value, I would just want to re-execute 20 once again, and this time the number of rows have been increased. 931 rows have been processed. This brings us to the end of this presentation. I hope you have enjoyed following along, and I thank you for watching.